You're fighting to lose belly fat, but what if you're battling the wrong enemy entirely? You've tried everything, right? Crunches until your abs scream, salads until you dream of pizza, maybe even fasting until your stomach growls louder than a hungry bear. Yet that stubborn belly fat just won't budge. What if I told you the reason isn't your effort, but your target? Most people think belly fat is just fat, a soft, jiggly layer under the skin. But what if that visible, pintily fat is actually the least of your worries? There's a hidden enemy, an invisible parasite lurking deep inside your body, quietly strangling your organs and silently stealing your health. It's called visceral fat, and it's arguably more dangerous than visible obesity, especially for those who look thin on the outside, a condition we call TOFI. In this video, we're going to pull back the curtain on this unseen threat.
You'll understand exactly what it is, how it's silently harming you, and most importantly, why everything you thought you knew about losing belly fat might be wrong. Prepare to see your body and your health in a completely new light. Have you ever felt frustrated by stubborn belly fat despite your best efforts? Share your experience in the comments below. But before we dive into the specific solutions, let's truly understand this invisible enemy. What exactly is visceral fat, and how does it quietly wage war on your body?
Is your belly fat a harmless fluff or a silent threat? The truth might shock you. You've tried everything, right? Crunches until your abs scream, salads until you dream of pizza, maybe even fasting until your stomach growls louder than a hungry bear. Yet that stubborn belly fat just won't budge. It's frustrating, disheartening, and often leaves us feeling like failures. But what if I told you the reason isn't your effort, but your target? Most people think belly fat is just fat, a soft, jiggly layer under the skin, something you can pinch and complain about. We blame it for making our clothes tight and our confidence sag. But what if that visible, pinchable fat is actually the least of your worries? What if there's a far more insidious enemy at play? You see, your belly fat isn't a single entity. Imagine it as having two distinct layers, almost like a protective outer shell and a dangerous core. There's the soft, pliable layer right under your skin. That's subcutaneous fat.
This is the stuff you can literally grab. It's mostly aesthetic, the vanity fat, as some call it. And in healthy amounts, it's largely harmless. It acts like a passive storage unit for energy, a bit like a savings account for your body. But then there's the unseen, sinister twin, visceral fat. This isn't on the surface. It's buried deep inside your abdominal cavity, nestled around your vital organs, your liver, pancreas, and intestines. Think of it less as a fluffy cushion and more like a dense internal tumor. And unlike its harmless subcutaneous cousin, visceral fat is biologically active. It's not just sitting there idly, it's doing things, nasty things, as we'll soon discover. This is where the story of Sarah becomes so relevant. She was meticulous with her diet, regular at the gym, and by all outward appearances, she looked perfectly healthy. Friends envied her slim waist. But inwardly, she constantly felt sluggish. Her energy was inexplicably low, and she had this nagging worry in the back of her mind that something wasn't quite right. When she finally got a specialized body scan, she was shocked to learn that despite her lean exterior, her body was packed with dangerous levels of visceral fat. This is the thin outside, fat inside, TOFI phenomenon, and it's a silent epidemic affecting millions. You can literally be a size small, fit into your favorite jeans, and still be at significant risk because this hidden fat is relentlessly attacking you from within without any obvious external warning signs. Visceral fat behaves like a silent, unwelcome guest, a parasitic tissue that latches onto your organs, slowly strangling them. It chokes your pancreas, stresses your liver, and puts immense pressure on your heart and blood vessels. It's not just about looking good or fitting into smaller clothes. It's about your very life force being slowly eroded by an enemy you can't even see or pinch. Understanding this distinction is the first crucial step toward truly reclaiming your health and finally winning the battle against stubborn belly fat. Did you realize there were two distinct types of belly fat? Let me know if this distinction is new to you in the comments. Now that we've unmasked this invisible enemy, the next crucial step is to truly understand how it operates, what makes it so destructive,
and why it's so different from other fat. What if your own body was secretly turning against itself, fueled by a hidden enemy deep within? Now that we've unmasked this invisible enemy, the next crucial step is to truly understand how it operates, what makes it so destructive, and why it's so different from other fat. Unlike subcutaneous fat, which is like a sleepy storage unit, visceral fat is buzzing with activity. Imagine it as a tiny rogue chemical factory right inside your core, constantly manufacturing and spitting out inflammatory compounds. These aren't just any chemicals. They're called adipokines and cytokines. They're like little messengers, but instead of bringing good news, they're spreading chaos. They travel through your bloodstream, reaching every corner of your body. This is where it gets really insidious. These inflammatory messengers don't just cause inflammation, they feed it. Visceral fat thrives on this inflammation, growing larger and in turn producing more inflammatory chemicals. It's a vicious cycle of fire constantly being fueled from within. This inflammatory loop isn't just making you feel sluggish, it's quietly damaging your arteries, making your cells less responsive to insulin, driving insulin resistance, and even impacting your brain. Remember how we talked about it strangling your organs? These chemicals are the weapon. They stress your liver, making it work overtime. They disrupt your pancreas, hindering its ability to manage blood sugar. They even contribute to the hardening of your arteries, setting the stage for heart disease. So how do you know if you have this hidden saboteur? It's not about how much you can pinch. Stand up, relax your stomach, and gently poke around your belly. If it feels soft, squishy, and you can easily grab a roll, that's mostly subcutaneous fat, the vanity fat. But if your belly feels hard, firm, and protrudes like you've swallowed a basketball, that's a classic sign of significant visceral fat. That firmness isn't muscle, it's the pressure of this dense internal fat pushing outwards against your abdominal wall from the inside. This hard belly isn't just an aesthetic concern, it's your body screaming for help. It's your liver crying out, your pancreas struggling, your heart under strain. It's a physical manifestation of that hidden inflammatory fire. When Sarah learned about this distinction, it clicked. Her constant fatigue, her subtle health worries, they weren't just getting older symptoms. They were the whispers of this internal saboteur, amplified by that hard, protruding feeling in her stomach that she'd always dismissed as just getting a bit chunky. Understanding this distinction shifts the focus from superficial appearance to deep health, empowering you to address the root cause. Have you ever experienced that hard belly feeling? Share your thoughts below. Understanding is the first step. But don't despair. While visceral fat is dangerous, it's also uniquely responsive to specific strategies. In the next section, we'll unveil the secret code to unlock your body's natural visceral fat burners, a powerful 3+2 pillar strategy. What if there was a secret code to finally melt away that dangerous visceral fat? A code built not on deprivation, but on precise, targeted actions. But don't despair. While visceral fat is dangerous, it's also uniquely responsive to specific strategies. The good news is, your body has a biological combination code to unlock its natural visceral fat burners, and it's not about endless crunches or starving yourself. Think of it less as a grueling battle and more as learning a new, elegant language your body understands. We've broken this code down into what we call the 3+2 pillar strategy. The 3 represents our core pillars of attack: strategic nutrition, the liquid key of targeted beverages, and smart movement. These are the direct forces that will target and dismantle visceral fat. But these 3 pillars can't stand strong without their vital support system, the 2 invisible architects that often get overlooked: taming stress and optimizing sleep. You see, it's not just about what you eat or how you move. It's about creating an internal environment where visceral fat cannot thrive. This strategy isn't about quick fixes or extreme deprivation. It's about precision, consistency, and working with your body, not against it. Remember Sarah, who was shocked by her TOFI diagnosis? When she first learned about visceral fat, she felt overwhelmed. But when she was introduced to this comprehensive 3+2 pillar strategy, it was like someone handed her a clear, actionable roadmap.
She realized her previous fragmented efforts, trying a new diet here, a new workout there, were like trying to open a complex lock with just one tumblers. This strategy ensures all the tumblers align. It's about making small yet powerful shifts across multiple areas of your life that synergistically attack visceral fat from every angle.
This isn't just about weight loss. It's about reclaiming your vitality, your energy, and fundamentally, your long-term health. So let's stop guessing and start targeting. Does this 3+2 pillar strategy sound like the roadmap you've been searching for? Let me know your initial thoughts. Now, let's unlock the first pillar of this powerful strategy, strategic nutrition. It's time to discover how you can literally eat your way to a leaner core, moving beyond just healthy eating to truly target that visceral fat.
What if the secret to a flatter, healthier belly wasn't about eating less, but eating smarter? Forget about simply cutting calories or bland, restrictive diets. This isn't about eating less, it's about eating smarter, turning your plate into a powerful weapon against that internal saboteur. Remember how visceral fat thrives on inflammation and oxidative stress, that rust inside your cells? Well, the most powerful rust remover in nature comes from a specific family of compounds called carotenoids. These are the vibrant pigments that give plants their beautiful colors, the deep orange in carrots, the ruby red in tomatoes, the rich green in spinach. A fascinating double-blind study out of Japan showed incredible results. Simply increasing the intake of carotenoid-rich vegetables like carrots and cabbage for just 8 weeks led to a significant reduction in visceral fat. How? Carotenoids act like tiny shields, neutralizing free radicals, those unstable molecules that damage your cells. Even more amazingly, they actually flipped a genetic switch, turning on genes that burn fat and turning off genes that store it. So your protocol here is simple. Eat the rainbow. I'm talking sweet potatoes, bell peppers, spinach, kale, squash, and berries. If your food is beige, like most breads, pastas, or crackers, it's often feeding the parasite. If it's vibrant orange, red, or green, it's actively fighting it. Let's dive a little deeper into why those beige foods are silent saboteurs. Refined carbohydrates, think white bread, sugary cereals, pasta, and anything with added sugar, cause a rapid spike in your blood sugar. When your blood sugar shoots up, your pancreas rushes to produce a flood of insulin to bring it back down. This isn't just about weight gain, it's about where that fat gets stored. Excess insulin doesn't just store sugar as fat, it specifically signals your body to pack it away as visceral fat, especially in and around your liver. This process is called de novo lipogenesis, literally new fat making, and it's a direct highway to increased visceral fat, silently overwhelming your liver and fueling that inflammatory loop we discussed. But it's not just about what to avoid, it's about what to embrace. To truly starve the visceral fat and build a resilient body, you need the foundation builders, protein and healthy fats. Protein is crucial because it helps you maintain and build lean muscle mass, which boosts your metabolism. Your body burns more calories even at rest. It also keeps you feeling fuller for longer, curbing those cravings that often lead to unhealthy snacking. Think lean meats, fish, eggs, lentils, and beans. And then there are healthy fats, especially omega-3s, found in salmon, chia seeds, walnuts, and olive oil. These are anti-inflammatory powerhouses. They help break that vicious inflammatory cycle, balance your hormones, and support overall cell health. Sarah found this out firsthand. She used to skip breakfast or grab a quick bagel. When she switched to eggs with spinach and avocado, she felt fuller, more energized, and her cravings for sugary snacks vanished. She realized food wasn't just fuel, it was medicine. Finally, let's not forget the unsung heroes, fiber and water. Soluble fiber, found in oats, apples, beans, and berries, is incredible. It acts like a sponge, slowing down sugar absorption, stabilizing blood glucose, and feeding your good gut bacteria. A healthy gut is directly linked to lower inflammation and less visceral fat. And water? It's your body's silent superpower. Every metabolic process, including fat burning and detoxification, relies on adequate hydration. Even mild dehydration can slow down your metabolism.
So aim for plenty of clean, pure water throughout your day. What's one colorful food you're excited to add to your plate this week? Share your go-to vibrant veggie in the comments. Now that your plate is armed with the right nutrients, let's explore the liquid key, how specific drinks can supercharge your body's ability to melt away visceral fat, unlocking the next pillar of our strategy. What if the secret to supercharging your metabolism and melting visceral fat was hidden in your daily cup? Now that your plate is armed with the right nutrients, let's explore the liquid key, how specific drinks can supercharge your body's ability to melt away visceral fat, unlocking the next pillar of our strategy. You've probably heard whispers about green tea and fat burning. Maybe you dismissed it as just another health fad. But what if I told you there's solid science behind it, and it holds a crucial key to unlocking your body's fat-burning potential? The magic ingredient in green tea, particularly in varieties like matcha and sencha, is a powerful polyphenol called EGCG, epigallocatechin gallate. Think of EGCG as a tiny, intelligent locksmith for your fat cells. Normally, these cells have a front door that's pretty much locked, making it hard to release stored fat for energy. EGCG helps pick that lock.
It stimulates your nervous system to boost fat oxidation, essentially telling your body, hey, it's time to burn some fat. But EGCG does something even more brilliant. It also inhibits an enzyme called lipase. Lipase is responsible for breaking down the dietary fats you eat so your body can absorb them. By putting a bouncer at the door of your gut, EGCG essentially says, not all of this fat is getting in. This means less fat absorbed and stored. And here's the synergy. The natural caffeine in green tea works alongside EGCG, accelerating the effect. It's a 1-2 punch. Caffeine revs your metabolic engine, and EGCG unlocks the fuel tank, making that visceral fat accessible. A randomized double-blind study confirmed this, showing that drinking catechin-enriched green tea for 12 weeks significantly reduced visceral fat. But here's the critical warning. You can't just grab any sugary bottled green tea from the convenience store. Those are often packed with sugar, which will counteract all the benefits and only make your liver work harder. You need whole leaf green tea. Think ceremonial grade matcha or sencha. Why? Because you're consuming the entire tea leaf, not just a weak infusion, which means you get a massive, potent dose of those beneficial catechins. For Sarah, this was a game changer. She used to rely on a second cup of coffee in the afternoon, which often left her jittery and prone to sugar cravings. Switching to a calming yet energizing cup of matcha not only gave her sustained energy, but also helped her feel less bloated and more in control of her appetite. She started seeing her daily ritual not just as a drink, but as a deliberate act of fighting her invisible enemy. And let's not forget the simplest, most fundamental liquid key of all, water. Pure, clean water. It sounds obvious, but you'd be surprised how many people are chronically dehydrated. Every single metabolic process in your body, from burning fat to detoxifying waste, relies on adequate hydration. Even mild dehydration can slow down your metabolism by a staggering amount. Think of your body as a high-performance engine. It needs clean fuel, but it also needs constant cooling and lubrication to run efficiently. Water is that essential lubricant. It helps transport nutrients, flushes out toxins, including those inflammatory compounds from visceral fat, and keeps your cells happy and functioning optimally. Aim for at least 8 to 10 glasses of water a day, more if you're active. It's a passive yet incredibly powerful way to support your body's fight against visceral fat. What's your go-to healthy drink that helps you feel energized and in control? Share your liquid wisdom below. With your internal environment primed by strategic nutrition and targeted hydration, it's time to unleash the most direct weapon against visceral fat, smart movement. Let's dive into Pillar 3 and discover the 75% solution that will truly transform your core. What if all those intense workouts you've been doing for belly fat were actually making it worse? With your internal environment primed by strategic nutrition and targeted hydration, it's time to unleash the most direct weapon against visceral fat, smart movement. Let's dive into Pillar 3 and discover the 75% solution that will truly transform your core. For years, we've been told that to lose belly fat, you need to suffer. Endless crunches, grueling high-intensity interval training, or running until your knees ache. But what if I told you that some of those extreme efforts might actually be counterproductive for visceral fat?
even raising your stress hormone, cortisol, which loves to hoard fat around your middle. The truth is, while diet is fantastic for overall weight loss, exercise is your laser-guided missile for visceral fat. But it's not just any exercise. It's about the right kind of exercise at the right intensity.
I want to share a groundbreaking meta-analysis involving 117 studies that pinpointed something astonishing. A specific older study, often cited, looked at participants cycling for just 45 minutes, 2 times a week. That's it. Not daily, not for hours. But here's the crucial part. They did it at a precise intensity, 75% of their VO2 peak. After just 2 months, guess what happened? Their weight on the scale barely budged. This is why you shouldn't let the scale dictate your progress. But their visceral fat plummeted by a staggering 48%. If you're sprinting so hard you feel like you're about to throw up and can't utter a single word, that's too hard. You've gone anaerobic. You want the sweet spot right in the middle. You're at the right intensity when you can speak in full sentences, but you sound a little winded. You should sound like you just walked up a few flights of stairs. You can talk, but you'd rather not. That is the zone where the magic happens for visceral fat. Now, why does this specific intensity work so well? It's all about unlocking your body's cellular powerhouses, your mitochondria. At this sweet spot, you're efficiently burning fat as fuel, boosting mitochondrial function, and directly improving your insulin sensitivity. Unlike extreme exercise, which can spike cortisol, this moderate to vigorous intensity keeps cortisol levels in check, creating an ideal environment for visceral fat reduction. Sarah, our TOFI example, used to feel guilty if she didn't push herself to exhaustion.
The 75% solution was a revelation. She started taking brisk walks up hills or cycling in her neighborhood, focusing on the talk test. Not only did she feel better and more energized after her workouts, but she finally saw that stubborn hard belly begin to soften and recede. She realized that consistency at the right intensity was far more powerful than sporadic, exhausting efforts. This isn't about crushing yourself. It's about smart, targeted movement that tells your body exactly what kind of fat to burn. What's one exercise you're excited to try with the talk test in mind? Share your smart movement plans below. We've armed your plate, supercharged your drinks, and optimized your movement. But there are 2 invisible architects quietly shaping your belly fat, often overlooked. Let's uncover how taming stress and optimizing sleep are the missing pieces of your visceral fat puzzle in the next crucial section. What if the biggest saboteurs of your flat belly aren't on your plate, but in your mind in your bedroom? We've armed your plate, supercharged your drinks, and optimized your movement. But there are 2 invisible architects quietly shaping your belly fat, often overlooked. Let's uncover how taming stress and optimizing sleep are the missing pieces of your visceral fat puzzle in this crucial section. You might be meticulously following your diet and hitting your 75% intensity workouts, yet that stubborn, hard belly still lingers. Why? Because your body is exquisitely interconnected, and 2 of the most powerful yet silent drivers of visceral fat accumulation are chronic stress and poor sleep. Imagine your body has a built-in alarm system. When you're constantly stressed, whether it's work deadlines, family demands, or even just scrolling through negative news, that alarm rings, releasing a powerful hormone called cortisol.
Cortisol is vital in short bursts for fight or flight. But chronic, elevated cortisol is a disaster for visceral fat. It signals your body to store fat, specifically around your midsection, and even makes you crave sugary, high-carb foods, fueling that inflammatory loop we discussed earlier. It's like a relentless internal saboteur, undoing all your good efforts. And sleep? Oh, sleep is not a luxury. It's a non-negotiable biological necessity. When you consistently skimp on sleep, your body interprets it as stress. Again, cortisol spikes. But that's not all. Lack of sleep also disrupts your hunger hormones. Ghrelin, which makes you hungry, goes up, and leptin, which tells you you're full, goes down. So you're hungrier, less satisfied, and your body is in prime fat-storing mode, all while you're feeling sluggish and irritable. It's a complete domino effect on your hormones, your cravings, and your mental well-being. Sarah learned this the hard way.
She was nailing her colorful diet and enjoying her 75% intensity walks. But her demanding job and 2 young kids meant she often survived on 5 hours of sleep, fueled by constant worry. She noticed she'd crave sweets in the late afternoon and felt constantly on edge.
It wasn't until her coach urged her to prioritize both sleep and stress management that things finally shifted. She started by setting a consistent bedtime, even on weekends, and carving out just 10 minutes each evening for deep breathing and a short guided meditation. She wasn't magically stress-free overnight, but the consistent micro-actions began to lower her baseline cortisol. Slowly, her cravings diminished, her energy stabilized, and that hard belly started to soften even more. So, what are these practical strategies? It's about small, deliberate steps. For stress, consider incorporating daily mindfulness. Even 5–10 minutes of deep breathing, journaling, or a short walk in nature can significantly lower cortisol. For sleep, prioritize sleep hygiene. Make your bedroom a dark, cool, quiet sanctuary. Avoid screens before bed, and try to stick to a consistent sleep schedule, even on your days off. Remember, you're not just trying to lose fat. You're trying to heal your body from the inside out, and healing happens when you give your body the rest and peace it deserves. What's one small step you can take today to better manage your stress or improve your sleep? Share your ideas below. With these 5 pillars, strategic nutrition, the liquid key, smart movement, taming stress, and optimizing sleep, you now have the complete blueprint. In our final section, we'll put it all together into an actionable plan you can start tomorrow, along with the mindset shift needed for lasting success.
After all this knowledge, what's the actual plan? It's time to put it all together and discover how small, consistent steps can lead to a breakthrough. We've armed your plate, supercharged your drinks, optimized your movement, and understood the invisible architects of stress and sleep. With these 5 pillars, strategic nutrition, the liquid key, smart movement, taming stress, and optimizing sleep, you now have the complete blueprint. But knowledge is only powerful when it's put into action. It's time to pull it all together into an actionable plan you can start tomorrow, along with the mindset shift needed for lasting success. First, let's revisit a crucial warning: the trap of starvation and extreme calorie restriction. While the instinct to eat less is strong, data shows that severe calorie restriction hits a wall. Your body, sensing famine, slows down your metabolism to protect itself, often clinging to that stubborn visceral fat. Exercise, however, is different.
Studies show it has a dose-dependent response for visceral fat, meaning the more you do of the right kind, the more you lose, without that metabolic slowdown. This is why our strategy isn't about deprivation. It's about nourishing your body with nutrient-dense foods, our carotenoids, proteins, healthy fats, and fiber, and then using smart movement to create that deficit. So how do you put this into practice? Let's simplify it into 3 actionable steps you can integrate starting tomorrow, plus 2 essential daily habits. Step 1, the scavenger hunt. Look at your plate. If it's brown or beige, put it down. Add 1 serving of a deeply colored vegetable, carrots, spinach, bell peppers, to every meal. This is your internal shield, fighting that oxidative stress. Step 2, the liquid key swap. Replace your second coffee or sugary drink with a cup of ceremonial-grade matcha or sencha green tea. No sugar, maybe a squeeze of lemon. You're activating those EGCG fat-burning mechanisms and inhibiting lipase. Step 3, the 75% solution, movement. Aim for 3 to 4 sessions a week, 45 minutes long, using the talk test. Whether it's brisk walking, cycling, or rowing, get slightly winded. This is your laser-guided missile for visceral fat. And don't forget the invisible architects. Integrate just 10 minutes of stress management, deep breathing, mindfulness, and prioritize a consistent early bedtime for optimal sleep. Remember Sarah? When she first saw the whole plan, she felt a mix of excitement and apprehension. But her coach told her, "It's not about perfection, Sarah. It's about consistency." She started small. Instead of a morning bagel, eggs and spinach. Instead of an afternoon soda, a matcha tea. She swapped her evening TV time for a brisk walk, listening to an audiobook. Slowly, the changes compounded. Her hard belly began to soften, her energy soared, and she felt more in control than ever.
The biggest shift for Sarah wasn't just in her habits, but in her mindset. She stopped viewing food and exercise as punishment and started seeing them as powerful tools for self-care and healing. This journey isn't a sprint, it's a marathon of consistent, loving action for your body. Your body is incredibly resilient. It wants to heal. It just needs you to give it the right signals, to stop starving it, start fueling it with the right pigments, hydrate it, move it at the right pace, and give it the peace it deserves. Which of these 5 pillars will you focus on first to kickstart your journey? Share your starting point in the comments below. This isn't just about losing inches. It's about reclaiming your vitality, your energy, and fundamentally your long-term health. Stay with me for a final powerful message and how you can continue this journey of transformation.
What if this journey wasn't just about losing fat, but rediscovering a stronger, more vibrant you? This isn't just about losing inches. It's about reclaiming your vitality, your energy, and fundamentally, your long-term health. We've journeyed through the intricate world of visceral fat, unmasked it as the invisible enemy, and armed ourselves with the 3+2 pillar strategy: strategic nutrition, the liquid key, smart movement, taming stress, and optimizing sleep. You now have the blueprint, the secret code to not just fight, but truly transform your health from the inside out. Remember Sarah? Her transformation wasn't just physical. While her hard belly softened and receded, the true change was in her energy, her clarity of mind, and her newfound peace. She realized that by consistently applying these pillars, she wasn't just losing fat, she was gaining a profound respect for her body's incredible ability to heal and thrive. This journey is not about perfection.
There will be days when you miss a colorful meal, skip a green tea, or don't hit your 75% intensity. That's okay. The power lies in consistency, not in flawless execution. It's about showing up for yourself, day after day, with small, deliberate acts of self-care. Think of it as a loving conversation with your body, patiently guiding it back to balance. Your body is an incredible, resilient system. It wants to be healthy, vibrant, and free from the grip of visceral fat. It's just been waiting for you to provide the right signals, the right fuel, and the right environment to thrive. This is your invitation to step into that power. Start today, even if it's just one small shift. Add one more colorful veggie. Swap one sugary drink for water. Take a 10-minute brisk walk. Breathe deeply for a few moments. Or just prioritize going to bed 15 minutes earlier tonight. Each micro-action is a vote for a healthier, happier you.
What part of your health journey are you most excited to transform? Share your biggest takeaway in the comments below. And if this video sparked a new understanding, make sure to like and subscribe for more insights that empower your health. Thank you for joining me on this transformative journey. Remember, your body is waiting for you to lead the way.